chiropractic doesn't work, but if you provide this type of service, it does work. Aloha, my name is Dr. Nick, and I am the owner of the chiropractic office in Waikoloa Village, Hawaii, named Island Holistic Healing. Now, in this office, the type of service that we provide is much different than what you might find in any other chiropractic office. I would say most of my patients are people who have been to other chiropractors and not been satisfied with their service or not even liked their service at all. And then I have probably another half of my patients are people who have been to other chiropractors and liked the chiropractic service and found that my service was 100 times better. So what I want to do is just explain to you a little bit about what reason is why I do the type of work that I do and why chiropractic, a general chiropractic service does not work for the majority of people. The reason why I provide the type of service that I do is because I used to provide the normal chiropractic service, which was 5 to 10 minute appointments, focusing mainly on just doing adjustments, which just basically get people in and out, but not really providing them with the highest quality of care. Whereas this office provides the highest level and quality of care. My focus and the focus in the office is to do things that other chiropractors don't do for patients. So number one, the chiropractic philosophy is bullshit and it doesn't work. Okay? The chiropractic philosophy is basically that the bone is touching the nerve and that by doing the adjustment we're going to take the bone off of the nerve and then you're going to be pain-free. Okay? That's not true. So if a chiropractor makes you believe that by showing you an x-ray that shows you that your bone is on top of a nerve and then that's where your pain is and that they're going to solve that problem by doing a adjustment, you should not believe that because that's not really true. The truth of the matter is that it's a build-up process that gets you into a chiropractic office, and we have to break down and reverse that process to get you to feel the way that you're supposed to again. So everything that we do in life builds up, and that build-up process creates a situation whereby, number one, we have gravitational pressure on us 24 hours a day, and the levels which are going to take the most pressure are going to be the lower levels of the cervicals and the lower levels of the lower back. And if we hunch a lot, which is like by using computer or using phone or using iPad, we're also going to get levels in the thoracic spine, which are also going to take a lot of pressure. Okay? And as that pressure builds, what's going to happen is that those spaces between the bones are going to get smaller. So those disc spaces are going to get thinner. And then what's going to happen is that there's not going to be as good a movement through those joint spaces. When there's not as good a movement through those joint spaces, everything is going to contract and tighten up. Okay? So we got ligament and tendon and muscle contracture. And then we've got limited joint mobility. And then with all of that combination, more inflammation is going to develop in those areas. So over time, as more and more inflammation builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up, until the point where that pressure is putting pressure on all the flow through that area, including nerve flow and vascular flow, we're going to start to feel discomfort. For some people, it's going to be discomfort. For some people, it's going to be a lot of pain. So to reverse that process, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to, number one, remove the inflammation. If we just remove the inflammation, we're already going to remove so much of that pressure that people are already going to start to feel better. But we also have to lengthen those fibers, okay? Because what happens is when there's contracture of those fibers, one side is going to pull more than another side. And then therefore, over time, as that pulls things out of alignment, that's going to cause more problems. And that's when we're going to be able to see, oh, there's such a thing as misalignment, or as chiropractors call subluxation. But we cannot fix that simply by doing adjustment when we haven't fixed the problem with the shortened muscle fibers that are attaching to those joints that are pulling them out of alignment. We're not just a bag of bones. Every person that came into my office was a bag of bones, and there was nothing attaching to those bones. We could just do adjustments, and that would be all they would need to have. But that's not the case. Okay, so we have to lengthen those muscle fibers equally. It's not just muscles, it's ligaments and tendons also that are attaching to those specific structures. So it has to be equal on right and left. Then when we do adjustment, what we're doing is we're inducing motion into joints where before there was no motion. So we are inducing motion. That is what the chiropractic adjustment does. Okay? The chiropractic adjustment does not remove pain. It does not remove inflammation. It does not lengthen shortened muscle and ligament and tendon fibers. Okay? It does none of those things. Okay? What it does do, and what it does very well, is it helps to induce motion into those joints. Motion is good. Motion is life. The chiropractic adjustment is good for that purpose. But we have to, number one, remove the inflammation. Okay? Once we remove the inflammation, remove the pressure. Once we remove the pressure, we start removing the pain. Then we have to remove all of the shortened muscle, ligament, and tendon fibers that are attaching to all those areas that are creating misalignments. Once we do that, we already start creating alignments in the spine and throughout the body and in the joints. I can take people without even adjusting them, and I can have things start to line up. Now what we want to do is we want to start to induce motion into those joints. That's when we want to start to do the actual adjustment. This type of process takes time. It takes hard work, but it gets results, predictable results. Whereas the chiropractic philosophy is a very unpredictable outcome. It may work for a few people, but it doesn't work for the majority of people. That is the reason why I do what I do here, and that is the reason why what I do actually works. And it's extremely effective. And if you're going to another place getting poor care, this is the place where you should be. And this is the place where everyone needs to come. I hope that in the future there will be chiropractic offices that provide this type of care and this type of service everywhere in the world, so that I don't always have to have people ask me, where can I get this care where I come from? Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for listening. Mahalo and goodbye.